once again, you haven't heard from me in a while. Here's something that's, if nothing else, quite original. I came up with this myself. I think it's original as far as I know. If you've heard of it, let me know. But as far as I know, it's original. The spectator gets to shuffle the cards. They really, truly shuffle them. Cards don't have, this is not even a complete deck anymore. They don't have to be complete. It doesn't matter. They're shuffled. They're absolutely super fairly, as fair as can be. The spectator shuffles the cards. When they're done shuffling, they look at the top card. Let's say in this case the 10 of hearts, and they look at the bottom card. Let's say the Jack of diamonds. And say, let me have the deck. And they've also checked and possibly signed the two jokers, making sure it's the only two jokers. And you ask them to say stop, and they say stop. Let's say they say stop here at the 8 of hearts. The 8 of hearts goes in about the center. And you say about 5 seconds ago you were done shuffling. You shuffle the Jack of diamonds to the bottom. I haven't seen this yet, but you know. And the 10 of hearts to the top. That's very good. And you've looked at the two jokers. You've checked them. You've signed them possibly. You know it's but two jokers. They pretty much look identical. But those are the only two, at least with your signature on. You show them the signatures. And I think I can make your card appear in my hand in 3 seconds. I count down. 1, 2, 3. And after 3 seconds, your card, in this case, the 8 of hearts, appears in my hand, and there's the rest of the deck. And that would be the routine. And I've had occasion to do it a few times, and there's any number of variations to this. And it's been well received. So it's not just a pipe dream. Let me show you some. I mean, you might have followed most of it, but you can also do it in the spectator's hand. So if the spectator holds out their hand, you say on the count of 3, I want you to name your card. So in this case, it would look something like this. Blah blah blah. So there's this is the top card of the deck. On the count of 3, you name your card and whatever the 10 of hearts, let's say. So on the count of 3, you name your card. So you count 1. So you have this 1, 2, 3, and they say 10 of hearts, and you just drop it on their hand, and it appears on their hand. That's also very nice. Anyway, as far as the technique is concerned, I think I'm sure somebody must have thought of something similar at some point, but it's quite original as far as I know. So you have two jokers. The last thing also, I want to show you, obviously you just need to control one card to the top. But you can do this with a spectator's bar deck, and this is the way I think it's best. They shuffle the cards, yada yada yada. They look at the top card, they look at the bottom card, so just to remember. And they themselves cut. They don't even have to do that. I'm sorry. They shuffle the cards. The cards are shuffled. They don't know the top and bottom cards. They cut off some cards, and wherever they cut to, they remember that card. Or wherever they may have cut to, they remember that card. And while they do that, you just give the cards a bridge. So there is a sizable bridge in there. As you draw attention to this card, you give them one bridge. They put them on top of this, of the bridged half. They put the rest on top of the whole thing. You can spread out everything. You say, okay, remember the top card is the 10 of clubs. The bottom card is the 10 of hearts in this case. This looks extremely fair. You're not holding any breaks. You're not doing anything. But then the rest of the technique is the same. You can move forward a bit to sight the bridge. Go back just to make it easier. Get a break, and then from the break you just do at some point you do a side steal, and then you go over. And as you go over your hand, you have the card in your hand. As you go over your hand, you just drop the card, and you say, well, about 5 seconds ago or whatever. So you just drop it about 5 seconds ago, and you shuffle the cards, and you remember the top card. Remember the top, and you do a double lift. Top card is the 10 of clubs. Bottom card is this card, whatever. Point being is, the card is now on top, and it's also been established what the actual top card is, and you turn it face down. And the next sequence may seem confusing and a bit much, but as long as you're talking about it, it's actually just proving what they believe to be true, namely that these are two jokers. You show the two jokers, you've shown them face up, you show that they have just single jokers, and you show that just very much single jokers, and you turn them face up again, and you show them to be jokers again, much like they expected them to be. And during this process, you replace the extra card. So their card is in fact on top of the deck right now. So the nine of diamonds is their card, let's say. So you turn this one face down. You take these two and turn them face down. Meanwhile, you get a break under the top card. and you reverse count them once. You pick up everything above the break. You do a double push off, taking 2 cards, and you're leaving you with a single card, and you immediately exchange the single cards twice more. You show them. You get a break above the top card. You do a card spin. You put that back on top of the card, and then you turn over both, but you square them up in the process because you can't show this card. So you've apparently just shown them to be 2 cards. You square them up in the process, and you immediately split just the top card. So it appears to be just the jokers. Let me do this one more time because it seems a bit complex. So this is the top card of the deck right now, and you take, and they think it is in the center because you control it to the top. Now you do a double lift, but in this case you do the double lift, confirming what they think to be true, that the 10 of clubs is the top card of the deck. You do this once, it's on top of the deck, clearly as it should be. You tell them, well, you sign your joke and you sign this joker, that's just for 2 jokers. You show them singly, very fairly. Now you do the double push off. You show them singly again apparently. You very clearly show them singly again twice. You show this card singly, and then you show the faces very clearly. I mean, you're doing nothing but proving to them what they believe to be true, but in the process, this is now the double. And you turn over this card, and you say, remember this, your card is not the bottom card, not the top card. And the nice thing about counting is, if you count 1, 2, 3, you expect something to happen at 3, but if you count at the same rhythm, well, nothing has happened. You'll see what I mean. So you show this, and I say, I'll do it on the count of 3. Let's say on the count of 3, they name their card the 9 of diamonds. So say 1, you turn it face down, and that's it. You just turn it face down. You say 2, you turn that face down, but you just take the top card, which you then slide over, and you say 3. So on the count of 1, 2, and 3, you always turned over a card. The fact that you've also taken 1 card, it just escapes detection. It's not invisible, it's quite visible. It's imperceptible but not invisible. You can see it, you could see it once you know what it is, but you don't perceive it. You just say 1, 2, 3, and then they name their card because I asked them to name their card on 3, and they say 9 of diamonds, and I say, okay, so the 2 jokers with the top card, whatever. You can also drop them first or whatever. And that's the routine. I do hope you enjoy that. Like I said, it's gotten some great reactions, and talk to you again soon. Bye.